Welcome to the Deep Dive,
Yeah.
where we take your information, cut through the noise, and get straight to the knowledge that really matters.
Today we're tackling something I think almost everyone feels at some point.
Oh, absolutely. We're doing a deep dive into that mental weight you get from becoming the go-to problem solver for, well, everyone else.
Yeah.
The source material we're looking at today poses a really profound question, and it's this. Are you living as a human and insane, or have you sort of, defaulted into being a problem-solving machine?
A machine. That's a powerful word for it.
It is. I mean, think about this scenario. Probably sounds familiar. You wake up, and before you've even had your coffee, your mind is already working on problems that are not yours.
A son's job hunt, maybe.
Exactly. Or grandchild's school application, or a relative who's always confused about their finances. It's just this constant hum of other people's issues.
Yeah.
And our sources point to a specific time frame, right? They say after a certain age, maybe in your late 50s or so, you unknowingly become this machine.
You're walking around with a mental toolbox.
Yes. Just waiting for something to break so you can rush in and fix it. It feels responsible. It feels like the right thing to do.
But the biological cost, I mean, it's staggering. It's not just a feeling.
It's not just a feeling.
No, this mechanic mentality trap, as we can call it, is a direct pathway to chronic stress.
Okay, and not the good kind of stress, I'm guessing.
Not at all. This isn't like, slamming on the brakes to avoid an accident. This is a low-grade, constant worry that just never, ever shuts off.
Because there's always a new problem.
There's always a new problem, and this connects directly to the hard science. The work of Dr. Robert Sapolsky at Stanford University really lays this out.
His research on stress is foundational.
It is, and it shows that when you hold on to these external burdens day after day, it causes specific, measurable physical damage.
So we hear about stress all the time, but what's the actual mechanism here? I mean, what does that chronic worry physically do to you?
It directly attacks your telomeres.
Your telomeres.
Yeah, think of them as these little protective caps on the ends of your DNA strands. They're basically the guardians of your longevity.
Okay.
Now, acute stress, your body can handle that. It recovers. But chronic stress, the default state of this problem-solving machine, it just pumps cortisol and inflammatory stuff into your system constantly.
And that does what to the telomeres?
It makes them shorter. It accelerates how fast they shrink.
So you're literally aging faster.
You are aging faster. Your cells can't regenerate as well. The source material is very blunt about this. By adopting other people's problems as your own, you are actively choosing to reduce your own lifespan.
Wow. Okay, so that idea that you're in control, that you're the fixer?
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
And you're paying for it with your own health. It's a self-destructive act, scientifically speaking.
That reframes everything. This isn't just about setting boundaries anymore. It's about self-preservation.
Exactly.
So if being the machine is so damaging, we need an antidote, a different way to think.
We do.
And our sources give us this beautiful philosophical counterpoint. It's a simple phrase. Be a gardener, not an owner.
Mali bani malik nahi.
Right. And this is presented as the formula for getting rid of that mental burden, that boj.
This is the practical solution. The whole difference between the gardener, the mali, and the owner, the malik, is about understanding what you're actually responsible for.
Versus what you just want to control.
Precisely. Think about a gardener. A good gardener loves the garden. They're dedicated. They do their part, the fertilizer, the water, the pruning.
Their hisa, as the source says.
Yeah.
Their portion of the work.
Yes, their part. They do it skillfully. But, and this is the key, they understand that they don't control everything.
They can't command the seed to sprout tomorrow or stop a surprise hailstorm.
Exactly. They accept that some things are just beyond their command. They do their part, and then, as the source says, they sleep peacefully.
I like that. They've done their duty, and they can rest.
Now, contrast that with the owner, the malik.
This is the mindset of the machine.
It is. The owner needs to control the outcome. They demand the flowers bloom on their schedule. They demand their adult kids follow the life plan they laid out for them.
And when reality doesn't cooperate, which it never does.
It never does. That's when the mental machinery starts to grind. That friction is the chronic stress that shrinks our telomeres.
So the solution is to shift your mindset. Listen, help, provide your part.
But do not carry the burden. You can't own the outcome. You can only contribute to the process.
That shift from Malik to Mali is huge. But it sounds like it requires you to be pretty smart about the kinds of problems you even engage with.
Oh, you have to be. Because the sources warn that sometimes what looks like a problem is actually a trap.
A trap. Designed to do what?
to ensnare you, to pull you right back into that repair machine role. You have to learn to recognize what they call chalaki cunning, disguised as a cry for help.
Okay, so let's break these traps down.
There are three main archetypes. If you engage with them, you are guaranteed to walk away with a burden that is not yours to carry.
What's the first one?
The first trap is what the source calls venting. This is personified as Sharmaji.
Sharmaji.
Sharmaji calls you maybe every day, not for a solution, but just to complain about the office, the neighbors, whatever. They're looking for a dumping ground.
So what happens if you actually offer a solution, like a real concrete idea?
Diffuse that immediately. Oh, I tried that, or that'll never work, because they don't want to fix. They just want an irricon to dump their mental trash into.
And by trying to fix it, you become the trash can. You absorb all that negativity.
You end the call feeling drained, and they feel great. The key is they enjoy the complaint more than they want the cure.
That's a huge energy drain. Okay, what's the second trap? This one sounds more manipulative. The decoy, or Mrs. Verma.
Oh, this one is insidious. It's blame shifting disguised as asking for advice.
How does that work?
This person comes to you because they're about to do something they already suspect might fail, but by asking for your advice first,
And then taking it.
they've built themselves a shield, a political out.
So when it all goes wrong, they can just turn around and say, well, I only did what you told me to do.
Exactly. The moment you give the solution, you've accepted partial ownership of the outcome. You've become their insurance policy.
Wow. You're set up to be collateral damage in their future mistake.
The only way to win is not to play.
Okay? And the third one, this feels like the most common, the perfectionist, or Guptaji.
This one is completely self-inflicted. The perfectionist is trapped by their own stubbornness, their zid.
Their belief that they're the only one who can do anything right.
Anything, from cleaning the house to managing the finances. They believe deep down that the world will fall apart without their direct intervention in every single detail.
So their burden isn't even coming from other people asking for help?
No, it's coming from their own refusal to delegate, to trust, to let go. They are manufacturing their own chronic stress. They've forced themselves into the role of the repair machine for their entire universe.
That's the irony, isn't it? They're suffering because they insist on being the help for everything.
It's the ultimate trap. And recognizing these three, the venter, the decoy, the perfectionist, that's the moment you choose.
You choose to be a human with boundaries, or you default back to being that exhausted telomere shrinking machine.
Right.
So we see the problem, we see the traps, we need a practical defense, a firewall.
We do. And the sources provide a really simple, really elegant one. It's called the Postman protocol.
The Dakia protocol.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that. It seems like the perfect way to move from that controlling Malik mindset to the peaceful Molly one.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
The Postman is the perfect model for action without emotional attachment. It's just 3 clean steps.
Okay.
Step 1, acknowledge, or pekam. The postman sees a letter has arrived.
Yeah.
You see a problem has been presented to you. You listen. You acknowledge it.
You validate the person's feeling without taking on the problem itself.
You hear the message, but you don't own the contents of the envelope. Then comes step 2, action. Come.
The delivery.
The delivery. The postman takes the letter to the right address. This is where you, as the Molly, play your small part. You offer one suggestion. You provide one resource. You take the one action that is truly yours to take.
But you don't stick around to make sure they open it and read it and do what the letter says.
Absolutely not. Which brings us to the most important step, the one that saves your energy and protects your telomeres. Step 3 is detach. Alaghona.
Let it go.
Let it go completely. The postman doesn't worry about whether the letter contained good news or bad news. He doesn't get involved in what the reader does next.
He just moves on to the next house.
He smiles and moves on to the next street. The issue is mentally deleted. It's no longer his problem.
The field requires a massive ego check. If you're used to being the hero, the solver, then detaching can feel like you're becoming irrelevant.
That's the core challenge. You have to redefine what success looks like. Success isn't forcing the outcome. Success is playing your part effectively and then consciously protecting your own peace.
It's about preserving your energy instead of pouring it into things you can't actually control.
Right.
So if you're listening to this, the big takeaway is that you're not some rusty machine meant to fix the world. The source calls you a biological miracle.
And miracles aren't meant to be ground down by stubbornness, by zid.
Right. The lesson is to take your small action, abandon the need to control the outcome, and just move forward. Your energy is finite. It has to be saved for your own meaningful life.
That's the entire purpose of this shift. From owner to gardener, adopting the Postman protocol. It isn't about becoming uncaring, it's about conserving their energy so you can live your life, not everyone else's.
You're deciding where that finite energy goes.
And that brings us to the final, powerful thought from the source material. This whole change, it's not just a small adjustment. It's a fundamental reorientation of your life.
What's the phrase?
The shift is retirement, not realignment.
Retirement, not realignment. Retire from being the mechanic. Stop trying to realign the entire world to your personal specifications. So we want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. If you actually do this, if the Postman protocol lets you detach from all those burdens, the venting, the decoys, your own perfectionism, how will you use that newly saved biological energy, that extra longevity? How will you use it to drive your own personal realignment?
What's your new purpose once you're not fixing everyone else's?
That's the big question. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.